StreamEast, the world's largest illegal sports streaming platform, is shut down in a sting. So let's talk about it. Welcome back to the official review. I'm Johnny, that's Sam, that's Steve, and we're talking about a legend going out, StreamEast. So for those who don't know what StreamEast is, because cable is so spread out these days, you got Peacock, you got games on YouTube TV, you got games everywhere. People have to find alternative measures sometimes. And one of those, the biggest one, was StreamEast, which you could get all games. You could get UFC matches. You could get, pretty much everything you want, football-wise, sports-wise, whatever. Or in the past couple weeks, this is reporting that's been done by The Athletic, and they report that the Alliance for Creativity and Entertainment, which is a coalition of 50 media and entertainment organizations, including Apple TV, Amazon, Netflix, and Paramount, all who have pretty large stakes in streaming, helped pull off an operation alongside the Egyptian law enforcement, which took place on Sunday, August 24th, to disrupt StreamEast's dominant position in the illegal streaming market. So, first of all, what are your thoughts on StreamEast? Have you used StreamEast?
My thought is the NBA just made this big TV deal. If you look at their schedule, so many games are going to be on Peacock. They're not even just going to be on NBC. So it's look, ratings are going to keep going down. We need to fight this. So we got to kill this streaming service. So that's exactly what they did. I'm surprised they didn't do it sooner, honestly.
So I would never incriminate myself. But if I allegedly,
in theory,
if I were to use this service, it would be because, as Steve mentioned, I hypothetically didn't have some sort of new streaming service that is a specific game is on, right? So I do think there is a growing frustration among fans about how many different streaming services you do need to watch sports in 2025. So with the NBA's new deal, just as an example, you have Peacock, NBC, Amazon Prime, and then ABC, ESPN, not to mention League Pass, which is the other separate streaming service, which has local blackouts. So if you want to watch teams in your local market, you have to buy a separate streaming service to watch the games that are literally in your backyard. So yes, there is this kind of splintering of media going on, and because fans can't keep track of it all, maybe they'll buy one or two of these streaming services and the rest they'll go to a site like StreamEast. I don't think this changes anything, to be honest. They've already reported in this article that there are copycat sites popping up. I don't think illegal streaming can really be stopped right now at law enforcement's current capability, I should say. Down goes this giant, but a million other sites are already up in its stead.
Well, it could scare other sites, being yo, look, the giant just went down. We're coming for you guys. And then it's shut down. And just as someone who lives in New York, there were a lot of, this is just a metaphor, anyone watching, a lot of illegal pot stores going around. And when you saw one or two get raided, you saw a lot of other ones go away. So it could be a similar domino effect like that.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be some sort of chilling effect from this, and that StreamEast may be used as an example. They've been shut down many times before too.
Yeah.
We'll see how long this lasts. A few things I want to mention. So the NFL is going to stream this year on 10 different platforms. You got Netflix, you got Peacock, you got YouTube, you got Fox, you got CBS, you got ESPN. You'd have to pay $750 to watch. That's not including League Pass.
Well, you have Sunday Ticket. Oh, wait, are you talking about NBA or NFL?
NFL, because it's Sunday Ticket doesn't include the Peacock game, I don't think. Sunday Ticket doesn't include the Netflix games. So, you need to, if you get a Sunday Ticket, you need to get additional streaming platforms. So it's not really an all-encompassing platform. Oh, also NFL Network gets a game. It really, and I was watching Charles Barkley on
Bill Simmons
this week, and he was talking a lot about this because they're now doing the move from ESPN, from TNT to ESPN, and that whole streaming fiasco that the NBA is going through. And it really just does come back to hurt the fans. They're trying to squeeze us dry. Ticket prices are going up. Cost $750 just to watch your team on TV, for 4 months. It's really is just a cash grab, and the expense is the fans. So these streamers going after the ways for fans to enjoy the product really does act as a middle finger to everyone. because
It really is great.
it really is great. These leagues are just really trying to extort their fan bases because the fans have a connection with these teams. So we'll see how long this lasts. I mean, the television bubble burst about 5 or 6 years ago. We've been talking about really more recently than that, and so you're seeing this fracturing in this way because of that. This kind of bubble that was supported on grandmas paying for ESPN even though they didn't watch it. That was kind of how the system was set up, where if I subscribe to a cable package, even if I don't watch sports, I'm still paying for it. You have this entire client base of people that were subsidizing the sports fans. And so that's why ESPN pays, X billion dollars for NFL rights, because they can afford it. And so when people started cost cutting and cord cutting, the new way is, well, now these streamers have this, held in market of people who are subscribing. They're going to subsidize the sports market. So it's just becoming more and more fractured, and it will continue to get more and more fractured as the cable platforms die. I mean, ESPN completely changed their MLB streaming services now. They're not going to broadcast games the same way now. It's going to NBC, and they'll probably put a lot of games on Peacock. Roku has games on for baseball for some reason. It's insane how many services you need to be able to watch your teams play.
Just to play devil's advocate real quick.
Oh,
I think there is an expectation amongst the modern fan that you should be able to watch every single game for very little money, right? The reality is that this has never been the case, right? It was back in the day when there were like 4 channels. You watched whatever they decided to put on that channel, whether it be boxing, baseball, horse racing, I guess. Then later on, you would watch, you would have a cable subscription and you would watch the games on national television or in your local market. So this expectation that you should be able to watch every single game in any sort of situation for not much money is sort of a newer phenomenon that kind of stems out of just like accessibility, I just think, and just kind of a lack of friction in this digital world to be able to access everything. And it's sort of, I guess StreamEast was kind of a symptom of that. They averaged 1.6 billion visits in the past year, and sure, you had to click through a few ads, hypothetically, but but it had everything. It had everything there. Yeah. And maybe we're not supposed to watch every single game for very little money.
But we used to be able to watch at least our team's game. It's like, if you lived in Boston, you would get the Boston game, and then you'd be able to get the playoffs as well, because that was nationally televised games. And now it's just all mushed in. Sure, you probably get a lot of the playoff games, but you don't know. You really only get, you get the NBA finals for the NBA. NFL, you get your local team on CBS or Fox often, but no one we're big sports fans, but a lot of people just want to watch their team. Not everyone's trying to watch the Pelicans versus Portland Trailblazers at 10:30 because they need something to watch. A lot of people are just casual fans who just like to watch their teams. And I think the fact that I can't watch my team sometimes just because of some blackout rule or streaming on some app, so I have to download that app, is a little crazy. So I do feel for, I do wish StreamEast would stay put, but at the same time, people innovate. These dirty websites innovate. So in the end, like you said earlier, I don't think it's going to be the biggest deal.
And here's one more thing too, is that we had a system, say 7 years ago, 8 years ago, where it was that way, where things could work out that way, where you could watch every team play for, little price. It's just the frustration comes in the fact that in the more recent years, these things have become fractured. In the primetime games, let's say I only play for cable and I want to watch the Nats play. Well, I can't watch them this weekend because they're playing a Friday night game at Apple TV. And then on Sunday, I can't watch them on TV because they're playing a Roku game. Or let's say my favorite team is, the Commanders, hypothetically speaking. Oh, I can't watch them week 2 because they have their game's on Prime. Oh, well, I can't watch them, week 17 because their game's on Peacock. Oh, I can't watch them week 15 because their game's on Netflix. So I'm losing out. If I just get cable, which was the way you used to be able to watch your team play, now I'm missing out on 3 games already. Because these games that are primetime games are being paywalled.
Cable was really expensive. Cable is really expensive.
Cable.
How much is it?
Like $80 a month.
All right, so it's like YouTube TV, but like
this is all a YouTube TV ad, really.
YouTube TV, you're still gonna miss certain games, but yeah, like YouTube TV is basically cable.
There isn't one way to watch your team play. Like there isn't like a one package thing that you can get that guarantees you the rights to watch your team play, which is the frustration. The fact that you have to get cable. Oh, if I want to watch my team play, I have to get cable. Oh, then I also have to get Prime. Oh, I also have to get Netflix. And by the way, we're cracking down on all this password sharing, so you have to get your own account. So you can't use, a friend's account anymore. So you have to pay for it. So then it becomes, let's say I do have a cable subscription. Say I have YouTube TV, $85 a month. Oh, I have to get a $26 Netflix subscription. Oh, I have to get an $18 Prime subscription. Oh, I have to get... So, like, cable, if I wanted to be a cable subscriber, which 10 years ago would have worked for me to watch my team play, now I have to get all these other add-ons in order to watch my team play. And, like, these nationally televised games, the IT games, are being paywalled. Oh, let's say... Also, by the way, let's say the Commanders make the playoffs. First round game, it's on Peacock. Can't watch my team play in the playoffs.
I think a good fix would be like, all right, you don't have to download Peacock, but if you want to watch the Commanders game that 1 week, you should be able to pay $4 like you're renting a movie.
If you're a really big fan, they should let you have it for free.
They should. They should be like, oh, Johnny Rash, he knows all the stats and all the players and where they went to college. Like, look, if you just pay $4, I would probably do it. Like very uncomplicatedly, I would do it that way. Oh no, sign up for a week trial and then forget. And oh shit, two years go by, I paid $240.
Exactly. That's what they're banking on.
Yeah.
I will say there have been some interesting things happening with sort of regional sports networks. With like Matt Ishbia and the Phoenix Suns, they decided to just broadcast their games over the air on like the free channels. So hopefully sports teams can kind of capitalize on those long-term gains from having their games out for free for people, so more people become fans, more people buy the merch, go to the games. I think that's a better long-term outlook for some organizations, but that kind of sacrifices some of those short-term gains, which billionaires aren't so fond of usually.
Yeah. The regional game is a fascinating discussion on its own because you have several teams that own their own streaming rights, like the Suns. And then MLB for baseball, MLB owns a few teams' streaming rights not streaming rights. Bally Sports, which bought Fox Sports, goes Fox Sports to Bally Sports, which is now technically FanDuel Sports, I think. It's FanDuel TV. Bally went belly up on their TV stuff. And so like 5 MLB teams, I think a couple NBA teams, just kind of lost their streamer or their broadcaster. So MLB came in. I know they had the Padres broadcast. I think they have the Diamondbacks, if I recall correctly. Twins, I think, too. So there are a couple teams that have no home right now for streamers. But, what's the great thing about baseball, there's 162 games of it. Every night, you're going to be kind of baked into 1 million viewers automatically. So it's a very valuable product, even in the day, an age that we are in. Because you have this built-in audience of people who are going to be watching 162 games. For basketball, it's 82. Football doesn't have the same regional broadcasting rights that these sports have, but it's a very valuable commodity. But that's a whole different discussion beyond StreamEast.
Jeff Bezos, please just buy everything, and then we can all stream everything on Amazon. Thank you.
That's definitely how it'll all work out.
We'll see.
So what do you think? Do you StreamEast? Are you going to miss it? Will it come back? Let us know in the comments.